Another of the new teams joining us this weekend is a name that's synonymous with GT racing. They are all about Ferrari. They are AF Course. And earlier on, I had a chat to the drivers of car number 18. Gary, Fulvio, nice to have you here this weekend. So give us a little bit of background, because this is the first time we've spoken to you.
Yeah, so Gary here's racing the Ferrari Challenge UK. The next round is at Silverstone on the GP circuit, so we thought this would be a prime opportunity to come and test the car and get Gary some additional race experience, because it is just his first year racing.
Wow, how are you finding it?
Yeah, no, it's good fun. So, yeah, doing the Ferrari UK Challenge, and it's my 50th year of life. I said, right, we're going to stop doing track days and do some proper racing, and yeah, it's good fun. Yeah, enjoying it.
So how have you found this weekend then? How are you finding GT Cup?
Really, really good. Really impressed, actually. And surprisingly impressed as well with how well organised it is, the timings, the hospitality, the cars, the teams, everybody around it. Yeah, no, it's really, really, really good. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. And how's the racing been?
Yeah, racing's been really good actually. I competed in a couple of rounds last year. I think the grid in this class wasn't quite so big. With the Ferrari Challenge round being the next round here, there's a few extra 488s, so it's made for quite a good race yesterday actually. We had a really good battle towards the end.
Yeah. So how's it been so far? Because you've only qualified so far today, so how's it been?
Qualifying didn't go too well for me today. When I went out, I had a buckled wheel. So we had to come back in, so probably didn't get enough track time. So in our class, I've come last, but not too far off the time, and we can make it up in the race. So no, looking forward to getting back out there and getting on with it.
22 cars lining up behind me on the grid for the second sprint here at Silverstone. The front row dominated by GTOs, but it's the Lamborghini number 55 of John Seal on pole. Let's go racing.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. John Seal is indeed on pole position, but this time he's got Graham Tilley for company in that number 6 Nissan GTR. Tom Webb pilots the Team Webb Lamborghini Huracan with Dan Dezil alongside him. Seamus Jennings and Bob Berridge on row 3. Should have been Richard Chamberlain, but mechanical problems have put him out for the weekend now. And Lucky Christopher, therefore, all on his own on row 4. Richard Guy, Gary Redmond, Sander Mortensen and Nick Moss on the 6th row. Rob Young, Josh Jackson, Nigel Mustall and Steve Ruston, Brendan Arib, Chris Murphy, and on the 10th row, Brent Millage and Callum Jenkins. Row 11, we see David Frankland and Ivan Milatonovic, Steve Burt and James Simons. And on the 13th row, it's Mal Samford. We should have had this race underway, but sadly a red flag straight away means that we call it to a halt. An incident on the first corner puts out 3 cars. Dan Dezil, Richard Guy in 83 and Gary Edmonds number 18 Ferrari out of this race. So they've lined back up again and we have the gaps on the grid sadly, but we're going racing anyway. And John Seal's going to be determined to keep that big Nissan Nismo behind him as much as he can, but that GTR is so quick and Graham Tilley's getting more and more comfortable in it. Oh, and it looked like Tom Webb's having to go a bit of contact there. It looks like Seamus Jennings just bumped a little bit into Bob Berridge, or maybe the other way round. I couldn't tell which way round it was, but thankfully both of them okay and carry on down in towards the very rapid Maggots and Beckett's. They go and sweep him from one side of the screen to the other. Just really does do it justice, doesn't it, that section of the circuit in these beautiful GT cars. Seamus Jennings there, number 33 in that GTO Porsche, trying to come back at Bob Berridge. Berridge was, I think, almost caught beneath the GTC car of Tom Webb for a second there, but the number 13 car stayed on the right side of the circuit, or his right, and goes through those Bob Berridge and sweeps through. I thought for a minute he was going to just swipe the nose of Seamus Jennings. There's Sander Mortensen, the son of the Mortensens, at the wheel of that Marcus Mantis this time, and he's trying to put a move on Rob Young in that number 17 McLaren. Into club we go for the first time, and John Seal's already stretching his legs at the front of this pack, isn't he? Graham Tilley just sort of falling back at the moment into the clutches of that ridiculously fast Volvo S60. It's such a good car when it goes well. Oh, and Nigel Mustall's coming back through the field. It looks like he got sort of compromised in with the sort of lower group in cars in that opening foray, but he's scything his way through the field rather quickly, to say the least. Seamus Jennings has now got past Tom Webb as well, so that is GTO's taking up the top 4 position. GTC being led there by Tom Webb, but not far behind is Lucky Christopher in that number 27 car, so he's going to be trying to reel in that bright blue Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo car of Tom Webb. Remember, it's his brother at the wheel yesterday. Graham Tilley in that tech serve Nismo GTR, he's closed in on the leader, John Seal. I said that John Seal had stretched his legs. Oh, and look at that. We've seen it from the get-go. The battle in third and fourth between Bob Berridge in that Volvo and Seamus Jennings in the number 33 Porsche. And the GTC leader sort of getting into no man's land, but I don't think he'll be too worried. He can get more seat time, get used to it in the dry. I think from he was telling me it's the first time that he's managed to race this one in the dry this year. Well, full stop therefore, because it's new to them. So he's not being pressurised by Lucky Christopher at the moment. You can see the lights just in the distance there was the second place GTC car. So he's under no pressure as it stands at the moment. He's staying out of the GTO battle and just keeping his own powder dry in that car. There is the championship leaders, the number 44 car, and behind the wheel this time it is Steve Ruston. John Whitehouse did the sprint race yesterday, and he's having a great fight with 79 there of Callum Jenkins. Sander Mortensen coming down, actually catching by the looks of it Nigel Musto in that big GTR. And Rob Young, and he was looking up the inside of the 24 car of Brendan Aree, but couldn't quite do it as he came down Hanger Straight in towards Stowe and just tucked himself back underneath. And we've got the change has made. The number 33 car has made it through there. We didn't quite see it happen, but for now, look at this. Bob Berridge is coming back at him as they go under the bridge along the Wellington Straight. The left-hander at Brooklands. Is he going to look up the inside? He's certainly looking, but he's not making it stick at the moment. That means a very tight right-hand line there taken by Seamus Jennings. He does not want to let that Volvo through. Such a pair of quick cars, these two. Good to see that Seamus resolved the issues that put him out of the pit stop race yesterday. And there is Brendan Aree ahead of the number 17 car of Rob Young. And it's his turn to do the sprint race today, and he's trying desperately to get back ahead of the American Brendan in that black, white and red McLaren. There is 79 Callum Jenkins at the wheel of that car, and he's ahead of Brent Millage. Brent Millage has actually got ahead of Steve Ruston as it stands at the moment. David Franklin had a torrid day yesterday as well, but thankfully they've got the parts they needed, and he's back out and racing. Fingers crossed that it will be a better day for him. Chris Murphy, last year's champion in that 72 Aston Martin, he's trying desperately to get back onto terms in that GTH battle. They're all sort of congregated together somewhat. Talk about congregated together. There's your GTB leader in that number 3, Marcus Mantis. He's looking up the inside of Nigel Mustall. That's not a sight you would see very often, is it? The big Nissan GTR of Nigel Mustall having to keep that Marcus Mantis behind him. Now that looked a bit loose, didn't it, for Bob Berridge coming through there, through Brooklands and into Luffield, but he kept it together. Nick Moss is having a great debut weekend in that number 25 McLaren. He's already taken a sprint race win yesterday. He's in the lead of GTH as it stands today as well for the sprint race. Is he going to make it 2 out of 2 in the sprint format at least? But he's not going to get it his own way, judging by everybody else fighting it out in that GTH. It's really tight this weekend. The championship leaders are from GTH, that being John Whitehouse and Steve Ruston in that red and white McLaren you see there, number 44. But they've not had it their own way. Brent Millage is putting some pressure on them now, and I don't think, they're not in the lead of GTH as it stands at the moment. In fact, Chris Murphy is ahead of them as it stands at the moment. Nick Moss is further down the circuit. There is the GTB car, which would, I think by my reckoning, run in second because Sander Mortensen's leading GTB as it stands at the moment. But GTA being led by the 79 car of Callum Jenkins behind the wheel for the sprint race today. So he's keeping his powder dry to try and bring it home. Yesterday it was the double victory by the 66 car of Ivan Milutinovic that we see just there. That Porsche having a great day yesterday. There is Graham Tilley, car number 6. And he is not really able to do anything about the incredibly quick number 55 John Seal, but equally no one's able to really put some pressure on him. Those two are having their own fight behind him. Clean piece of track still for the number 13 car of Tom Webb. And now we got another lunge by Sander Mortensen. He's locked up. That looks like the right-hander of Village as they then will go through the tight left hand of the loop. And he's got that mantis, the praying mantis, tamed again there as it got rather wild and out of shape trying to make a lunge on that Nissan GTR. He's having a whale of a time and doing a fantastic job. for the second time. On to the final lap we go, and it's finishing as it started, with these two absolutely glued together, just various ways round as we've gone through, and it is Seamus Jennings, number 33, that sits there with that third place. So that will be the third step of the podium in GTO for him at the moment, but Bob Berridge has got other ideas in that incredible number 77 Volvo S60 through the left-hander and the tight right-hander of Club onto the straight past the new wing pit straights that the Formula 1 carriages when the F1 circus is in town. But here comes John Seal rounding the final few corners. Going to try and see it through to yet another checkered flag and another victory. Here he comes. There's the checkered flag. A fantastic win there for John Seal. An absolute country mile by 11 seconds in the end. And he still had to work hard to make that gap. Graham Tilley coming home in second place. Seamus Jennings, Bob Berridge and Tom Webb wins GTC comfortably from Lucky Christopher. Sander Mortensen, great GTB win. GTH won by Nick Moss again in ninth place overall, so a great job there for him. Second place in GTH, great job by Brendan Arib as well. Josh Jackson third in that. GTA won by Callum Jenkins, with Ivan Milutinovic coming home second in GTA. And great fights through the entire field. The drivers are on the podium. Let's jump down and see what they've got to say.
John, congratulations. Another great result for you on the sprint.
Thank you. It was a good race on my own, but no, it was a good start. And once I got away, I just took it steady and just watched my mirror occasionally, so that was fine. Brilliant. Car was great. Team's brilliant. Dean, Chris, Jason, they're wonderful people, made a wonderful car, and all I had to do was drive it. I get the simple bit.
But in terms of the car, the team have done a fantastic job. GTS have set the car up in such a way. From SNEP, we were really struggling. Didn't give us much feedback, but this weekend it's just been fantastic. Every session we've been, wet, dry, everything, it's just been on the button. It's just me now that's holding the car back a little bit, and I've got to go look at some data and see where I can find some more time.
You must be really pleased with that one.
Yeah, it was really good to get some dry running in and start to get a grip of the car and the track and so on, putting in some more competitive lap times. So that was fantastic. I had a good battle with the Nissan, trying to hang on to him, let him go a bit and then pull him back in. So that was great.
Now we've just got the little matter of the pit stop race to look forward to next.